Hi guys, it's Phil from Draw the Trigger. Got a deck profile for you. It's my Angel Feather. This isn't the Angel Feather I've been running up till recently. This is one that I've only kind of come up with in the last, week or so. This is the Godiel Ride Chain Angel Feather build. Previously I've been doing like a Shamsiel Kyriel build that really emphasised damage switching to boost the attack power of my units. This is quite a different deck, utilises a very different strategy. It's a bit more of a heavy hitting deck, with a bit of a nasty counterblast ability as well in there. So without further ado, let's have a look. I begin with Miracle Feather Nurse. Quite a reliable little starter actually, this one. If you ride the Heavenly Injector, the grade 1 of the ride chain upon her, then you can search the top 7 cards of your deck for the grade 2 or the grade 3 ride chain Godiel. Pretty useful. It means that if the grade 3 or the grade 2 isn't in there, there's probably a good chance the other one will be. So you'll probably end up with at least one of the cards in your hand from that ability. Obviously you don't call her to the rear guard if you do that, because you want her in the soul to benefit the ride chain. Onto the trigger lineup. I run 4 heal triggers, which is a bit standard. These are my favourite heal triggers in the game, same as the Oracle Think Tank ones really, in that you can recycle them, put them back into the deck after you boost with them. The advantage with them in Angel Feather is even if they go into the damage zone, you can still call them back from the damage zone to the rear guard to the deck. Almost endless recycling if you're crafty. Can't go wrong with that. Next up we've got the stand triggers. I run 4 of these because, again, they're a really fantastic little trigger. They basically, you can play them to the rear guard, put them into the soul, and you get a damage switch. 1 card into the damage zone, 1 card out. Very nice. Great for getting something that isn't in your hand if you've taken damage and it was something you wanted, particularly when it's the ride chain. That's the main use of the damage switching in this deck, to kind of get the ride chain out of there in case I didn't draw into it. So you've got that. Next up, I run 4 critical triggers. This is the critical hit Angel. She's got the ability of putting her into the soul to give another unit plus 3k. I don't tend to use that very often. I'd generally rather have the shield. Having said that, if you just need to give someone a little boost to push them over 21k, can be pretty handy. Right, and lastly I run 4 draw triggers. These are pretty plain, nothing spectacular about them, they just do the same old drawing, but you need it in this deck to kind of make sure that ride chain does come off. I'm not a big fan of the artwork on these ones. I like Angel Feathers because they're quite cute, but this particular artwork doesn't appeal to me much. So I'd like to see another draw trigger in the near future. And that's it. Onto the grade 1 lineup. Garth just indicated to me I will be getting a new draw trigger in set 9. So I'm looking forward to that. Right, grade 1 lineup. We've got 4 Heavenly Injectors, obviously being the ride chain you want to run 4 of these. She's got the ability, obviously, when you ride her onto the grade 0, that's when you get to search out those cards as the grade 0's ability. With her ability, she gets +1 when that's in the soul, and when you ride the grade 2 on her, you get to do a damage switch, basically. 1 card from your hand for 1 card in your damage zone. Quite nice. Again, if you've found yourself with the grade 2 or 3 in the damage zone at the point that you ride one onto here, well, it would be the grade 3 I suppose, because you'd be riding the grade 2 onto her, you can kind of recover that, which is pretty nice. Next I run 3 Burst Shot Bethnael, the kind of standard 8k booster. Can't really go wrong with one of these. Not a lot to say about an 8k. And I run 2 pieces of Clutch Rifle Angel. Potentially a 10k booster behind a Vanguard if you're on equal or more damage than your opponent, which will be most of the time if you're running this deck. Pretty nice. Behind a full Godiel line, you've got yourself a 21 column when that's coming off, which is nice. I say a lot of things are nice. Right, and 2 perfect guards. Why 2? I've only got 2, that's why. I'd probably run 3 if I had one more, but no one at the locals seems willing to trade them away. I think they all like the artwork too much. So that's that. Not a lot to say about perfect guards. And finally for the grade 1s, I run 4 Battle Cupid and OCL. Now she's a fairly standard booster on the field, 6k. She's not going to set the world alight. Her ability is what's useful. Basically she can, when you place her in the Guardian Circle to defend, that gives you another damage switch, one of your cards from your hand for a card in the damage zone. Now that can be obviously to just turn something over, so you can use counterblasts. You might use it to recover a certain card for the ride chain. Or what I tend to like to use it for is if I've got a spare grade 3 in my hand that I'm not going to use, or I've got a 5k shield and there's a 10k in the damage zone, then I can switch those out and recover those for more shielding later. Again, also you can use that to call back a heal trigger from your damage zone, and then play it as a booster the next turn, and you've got yourself another heal trigger back in the deck. And the more times you can get the heal trigger back in the deck, the more times you can most likely heal, obviously. Right, grade 2 lineup. We've got 4 Fate Healer Ergodiel. Again, gets plus 1k when the grade 1's in the soul, so he's a 10k. And his ability is basically when the grade 3 rides on top of this, you get to do 2 damage switches. So you can really kind of fix your hand. If there's things in the damage zone that you want in your hand, you can get those in there. As long as you've got 2 cards in your hand to switch with. If you've got an empty hand, you're a bit stuffed. Right, I run 4 of these. These are the standard 10k Gatling Shot Barbiel. Quite a nice little card. Very bright. And that is one big Gatling gun. Don't mess with that guy. I run 2 of these. Holy Zone Penemu. Again, the lack of perfect guards kind of can hurt a bit. So these just act as a nice little backup. Intercept, 10k shield. Gives you that extra little bit of defensive power that you need. Finally, I run 1 of these. Core Memory Armoros. It's basically your basic Maiden a Libra style card. When it hits, if you have an Angel Feather Vanguard, you may pay the cost of a Counterblaster 2 and draw a card. Nice pressure card. People will generally try and block that. So if you attack with that first, then you know you're going to eat through the shield quite early on. And sometimes you might run into a stand trigger, get another go at it. Counterblasts aren't a big deal in this deck. You haven't got a lot of stuff that does counterblast, and when you do a damage switch, you can usually get rid of the flipped over card for something that's face up again. Grade 3. For Cosmo Healer Ergodiel. He's a 10k, gets plus 1k when the grade 2's in the soul. Pretty handy. His main ability is a Persona Blast. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a card from your damage zone and heal it. And that's for a Counterblaster 2 and a Persona Blast. It's technically sort of only a Counterblast of 1 because it doesn't say it has to be a face-up card that can be healed. So what I tend to do is when it actually does come off, I Counterblast 2 and I heal one of the ones I just Counterblasted. Counterblasted? Is that a word? That's what I'm going to say. Or Counterbly. Maybe that's the word. I don't know. Either way, you can get yourself a nice little bit of damage off. Particularly, sometimes, if your drive check reveals a heal trigger, you might get to heal as well. Say you're on equal damage, you're both on 3. You heal 1, so you're on 2, they're on 3. Then the attack hits, they take their damage, putting them onto 4. You Persona Blast, suddenly you're down to 2. It can be quite a nasty little combo that really puts you ahead of the game. Then I've got 2 of these, Drill Bullet Genial. Standard attacker, 10k, rearguard, but when it attacks a Vanguard it gets plus 2k. Nice on the rearguard there, just to lead up your rearguard columns. And finally, I run 1 Kyriel just to make the numbers up more than anything else. But in a pinch, she's pretty useful. You can throw her down. She's a 15k with a limit break 4. And when she's placed, you can call one of your face-up damage zone cards to the rear guard, and put the top card of your deck face down into the damage zone. If you find yourself running low on rear guards near the end of the game, you throw her down, counterblast 1, call a rear guard, and you're ready to go with a few last-ditch attempts at sealing the game. And that's it. That's basically the strategy of the deck. It kind of plays itself to an extent as long as you get the ride chain off. There's not a lot of shenanigans with it. Once you've got a Godiel out, you'll basically just be hitting every turn and just trying to do the same amount of damage. There's not a lot else to do with this one, whereas with the other Angel Feather decks, you'll be trying to damage switch every turn to boost all your Pegasus or your what's she called, Calamity Flame. But this doesn't really have a lot of that. We'll have some matches coming for you soon where I use this deck. You can see how it performs or doesn't. I don't know yet. So look forward to those, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.